What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 27, Take on New York Sports. We are live on Podbean right now, and it is Saturday, April 10th, 4:30, and we are going to jump right into a little baseball talk. I didn't watch the last couple innings of the Yankee game, as you can understand. All right, I get that we are only 8 games into the season, okay? 3 and 5, whatever, not a big deal yet, okay? What is a big deal is a couple of our players, all right? Judge and Glaber. Now, Judge was in the lineup today, thankfully, which was nice to see. Hit a couple balls hard, got a base hit. And you always got to worry with him because anytime, you hear a little discomfort, this, that, the other thing, me, as a Yankee fan, my first impression is like, okay, let's just wait for it. He's going to be going on the IL. Luckily this time, for now at least, he's not. And like I said, he played today. He played, decent, picked up a hit the ball hard a couple times. But you always hold your breath with him. And if he can't play, dare I say, 140 games this season, and be productive, and next season as well. And next season will technically be his walk year because he could become a free agent after next year. He's going to be 30 once he hits free agency. Now, a guy who's 6'7", 275, 80 pounds, however, big he is, that is quote unquote injury prone, even though he's basically the leader of this team and has been for a few years, are you able to comfortably give him a big deal? Because like I said, he's hitting free agency at 30. He's only going to get one big contract. Most players only get one big contract, but, this is his one shot. And as an organization, do you open up the checkbook for him? Or do you maybe say, listen, you've had an injury history, going back and forth. Do you give him like sort of a bridge deal, 1 year, 2 year deal, overpay 30, 35 million? Let's see what Ava has to say because she's calling in right now.
Wow.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but we're just talking about Judge right now, and
How he needs to stop getting injured?
yeah, luckily he did play today, which was nice to see. Picked up a base hit the ball hard, which is good. And I know there was concern about, the general soreness in his side or whatever, some reports were, but the way he was swinging the bat, I think, that's got to be that's not the issue because he was swinging the bat hard and fouling off pitches, and, so luckily it doesn't look like that's the case. But the bigger question is what happens this year and next year leading into his free agency after next year. He's going to be 30 when he hits free agency. Do you open up the checkbook? Do you give him that big contract? Do you maybe say, hey, listen, you've been injured these last couple seasons. We need you to play a full season and see, where your production's at. Do you maybe try to give you a 1 year, 2 year, $30, $35 million a year deal just to kind of see him get over that hump? And then maybe you give him like a 5-year deal or something. But I think they'd be very reluctant, especially if, this season ends up like the last couple, to give him an 8-year deal or something like that.
I think it's the same thing we were talking about at the beginning of the season. Well, towards the beginning of the season with Zibanejad. It's you want to be able to give him as much as he needs to resign. But if he's not, it puts them in a tough situation.
Mm-hmm. It really does. And on the other side of things, Gleyber Torres. Again,
yes, we know how you feel about him.
8 games into the season, I love Gleyber. Okay, I loved him ever since we got here. It was a great trade, trading away Chapman, bringing him in, and then obviously re-signing Chapman. But He's 24, and
younger
did he?
than what's his face?
Oh, Trevor Story and Corey Seager.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, to me, I don't want to give up on him. I want to give him this season, see what he can do, but his errors are becoming costly. And, if you're not going to be a stud at the plate, we kind of can't carry that load.
There's not really anything, because when he hits, it's great. Sorry, hold on. When he hits, it's great. But it's always just really close, his errors, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, and it's usually bad timing. Extra innings the other night, and listen, you're a shortstop, okay? You're a shortstop for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter solidified that spot for years and years and years. He leaves. What happens? Didi Gregorius, right? He has to try to fill those shoes. And he did a damn good job.
Yeah.
He's not gifted with the offensive potential, let's say, that Gleyber has, but he was a solid defender.
Didi was good with the bases loaded, though, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. He was a productive hitter, and he was solid defensively. When you're a shortstop, your number one priority is defense. That's just straight up. And of course, the rumors and the rumblings now are, well, Trevor Story's a free agent at the end of this year. Corey Seager's a free agent at the end of this year.
I'd rather, and then your favorite guy.
No, God forbid. No, absolutely not. What the heck? Carlos Correa from Houston. Yeah. No, don't want
your
him.
Favorite.
Okay. Would I like to pry Seager away from the Dodgers? Yeah, of course. That would be great. Do I like that Corey Seager is a lefty as well for our right-handed heavy lineup? Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, let's give Gleyber the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him the year. And I don't know what he has to do to improve defensively, but he better do it, and he better do it soon. Because this is a win-now team, as it is most years, if not every year. And we can't have these defensive lapses. We can't. And it's almost like it spreads. He makes an error, then, DJ makes an error, and it's like everybody else has to pick up the slack for him, and God forbid they make an error. It just gets magnified that much more. It's so much of a bigger deal at that point.
Yeah. I said from the beginning I wanted them to get Didi back. Because I love Didi.
Yeah, you stayed consistent with that. Yeah,
that was just something that I always wanted. I wanted it kept that way because I love Didi. I think we all did. I think the reason I love Didi so much though was because when we went to my first Yankee game, he hit a grand slam.
Yes, he did.
That's that and Tanaka pitching were pretty much the only things I remember from that game. But because I didn't really follow baseball then, I just knew it was
you
Tanaka.
were just starting to get into it, right? Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the reason I loved him so much. But he was so good at short.
Yeah, and again, you have to be a solid defender at shortstop. You just have to be,
especially when you play for the Yankees, just because you have a lot. You have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, Jeter did it forever, and it's just, again, nobody's going to come in and be Derek Jeter. He wasn't the greatest defensively, but he had very good range, and he wouldn't make those costly and timely errors. Listen, nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to make errors.
Everybody makes errors. That's just right. That's how it works.
It just seems like it's always in a big spot with him, and it's just.
Hold on a sec, Jack, close my door. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
That's all.
Go on.
But yeah. So another thing now. Again, I know it's only 8 games into the season, but I said it to you earlier, and I'm going to say it now on the show. Let's just not go to Tampa anymore. just straight up. Let's. Our next series is against Toronto, which will be in Florida, because they're playing in Florida their first couple home series. So what we should have done is just flew right down to Dunedin, get ready for Toronto on Monday, give the Rays these 3 wins, and just call it a day. We could have rested these last couple days. Judge could have got healthier. Glaber could have practiced shortstop. It's just, and it frustrates me so much because
could have practiced a little more.
Yeah, Herman could have remembered how to throw a baseball, and
Nick Nelson.
Nick Nelson. Flashbacks to spring training. If Herman could be that sort of pitcher. But it's just nobody. And again, I know it's not as big as I'm making it out to be, but it seems that every time we go to Tampa, nobody shows up. Nobody
knows how to hit. There's no offense.
Right.
And
right. We don't pitch. We don't score. We don't do anything.
And I know that Herman didn't pitch great today, but it was only, what was it, 4-0?
Yeah.
It was only 4.
Yeah, he could have pitched.
Runs.
He could have gave up 1 run, right? And we didn't score anything.
Exactly. It was only.
And again, Chris Archer, who's not a world beater by any stretch, comes out of the game in the 3rd inning with elbow issue, but
and then the bullpen, no one.
Right, and then their bullpen just shut us down. Chaz Rowe's not coming in from the bullpen. Nick Anderson's not coming in from the bullpen. They're all hurt. But it doesn't matter.
The Mets bullpen, who gave up 5 runs in 1 inning.
It just doesn't matter, and it's just every time we go there, it's a joke, and it's becoming frustrating. And again, 8 games, don't panic. Over 162, we'll be there right till the end. I get it, but it's just so damn frustrating. You wait so long for baseball to come back, and you get so excited. The spring's here, the weather's changing, and you just everybody's in a better mood, and then you're watching this crap.
I'm not in a better mood.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're watching this garbage. It's really frustrating, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Just wait and see. Which again, that kind of sucks playing the waiting game.
What did we say before the season started? We said, who do you think gets injured first, Judge or Stanton?
You know what? Neither of them on the injured list so far, though. That's me knocking on wood.
I didn't know if someone came and knocked on the door.
Yeah, but I don't know. And again, I'm a little skeptical of Corey Kluber as our number 2. Domingo Herman as our number 3.
I'm a little bit skeptical of no Garcia. That's what I'm skeptical of.
Listen, but no, he'll be here. He's going to pitch a fair amount of games. We're going to have to. Yeah, we're going to have to utilize a lot of starting pitchers. That's just the way it is, because again, we can't give all these pitchers, especially Kluber and Tyone. They're not going to throw 200 innings.
Can we play Garcia instead of Herman?
Well, I mean, it's honestly, it's not going to be instead. It's probably going to be, if somebody goes on the IL, or it'll be, let's do a 6-man rotation for this week or whatever, and it all depends. We've had off days that have been placed pretty well for us so far, so we're able to keep Cole going every 5 days and kind of give an extra day here, there. Tyone's only pitched once. So it's, Boone's making it work in that sense, but, we got to get length too. That's another thing, because our bullpen, they're going to be taxed by the end of the season.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen once, twice. We've seen it happen plenty of times where we got to go 3rd, 4th inning. We got to go to the bullpen. And the next game, 3rd, 4th inning, we got to go to the bullpen again. And, not only are we losing those games, but we're wasting pitchers.
So that they can't pitch the next game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And, Monty's going tomorrow now.
Monty save us from embarrassment.
Yeah, hopefully Monty can pick us up. Avoid the disgusting sweep that that we're staring down right now. I don't even know who's starting for the Rays tomorrow. They haven't even announced it.
Probably but then again, nobody
does it matter?
Will beat us. Yeah.
Right. Does it matter? Kevin Cash can come out and pitch if he wants. It's just, I don't know. It's just a joke.
It's ridiculous.
And let me just real quick, speaking of jokes, if you're Jacob deGrom, okay, how?
I know where this is going.
Again, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Okay, let's be real. That's just right. That's what it is. I want to bring up his line today. Okay, ready? He goes.
Did he say I hate the Mets?
What?
Did he say I hate the Mets?
No, but he probably does when he goes home at night. But listen, ready? 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, which was that solo home run. I think in the second inning he gave it up. No walks, 14 strikeouts. Okay, and what does he get to show for it? A big fat L. Because once again, the guy lets up one or no runs, and the damn Mets offense does crap for him all the time.
Come to New York. Better New York.
Listen, we scored nothing today too. So I mean, I know it was Herman pitching, but it's just deGrom. It's literally 80% of his starts. He gets a loss or no decision because he gives up 1, maybe 2 runs, and they do nothing for him. That's got to frustrate you.
Or he gives up 1, maybe 2 runs, and the offense will be fine and they'll do good, but then their bullpen.
Well, the bullpen will blow. Right, exactly, yeah.
Like they did a couple days ago when they gave up 5 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah. Well, what they didn't screw up was the home opener against the Marlins, where the controversial, call, Michael Conforto leans in, sticks his elbow in.
That was the strike 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he went to go call a strike, and then he said, it hit him in the elbow, so take first base. And again, the whole thing where it's not reviewable. I mean, to me, that's one of those things where if you have replay, use it to get the call right, no matter what it is. But then that goes back to maybe he thought, or maybe, in his eye, he's calling balls and strikes. He's saying that, I thought it was a strike, but it hit his elbow, so I guess it was out of the strike zone. And that's where the robotic ump system comes in. Where, hey, my buzzer went off, it was a strike. Let's review it. The robotic system says it was a strike. He leaned in over the plate, got hit by the pitch. Sorry, strike 3, game over.
Yeah.
And again, you can't blame Conforto for that.
No.
You got bases loaded. You're doing whatever you can to get on base. How many times have I said it when we're sitting here watching the game? Hey, Gary, listen, lean into a pitch here. Step into it. Don't be afraid to take one for the team.
That's what I always say. When it's going at obviously if it's going at their head, move. But I'm saying if it's going at your thigh area.
Yeah. Just
take it. Just
stick your, swing your hip a little bit into it or something. But I don't know, man. Again, we're Yankee fans and everything, so we got, there's no love lost for the Mets, but you got to feel bad for deGrom.
Oh, yeah, I feel terrible for him.
You do, and
it's the same situation. I feel for it's the same situation. I think this is a good way to put it for any Metro team fan besides Rangers fans and Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah,
you may not like him because he was a Ranger, but you got to feel bad for him.
Yeah. Yep, you absolutely do. All right, and on that note, we can transition now because I'm
into hockey.
Talking about the Yankees is just frustrating me right now. Again, just please, Monty, give us a good game tomorrow. Let us get the win, get the hell out of Tampa, and
don't look back.
Worry about Toronto, who beat us 2 out of 3 to open the season. Okay, the Rangers.
Okay, yes.
First things first, the Flyers beat the Bruins today. So
I mean, I don't. Really
I think that's good for us
because they're most likely to start losing again.
Yeah, Flyers just they don't impress me at all. So I'm not, I'm not really worried about them.
Carter Hart's back, though.
Like I said, I'm not worried about them. Don't there could be 3 Carter Harts in net, and I'm not worried. Yeah, that's for you, Hannah. But again, Boston still has 2 games up on us as far as games played. And they're up by 5 points. Last night, very impressive win for the Rangers.
Great, comeback game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kids played well, as they do. Laughed with the first goal. Blackwell, the MVP of the league right now, with his 12th goal.
Blackwell frustrates me.
Keandre Miller.
I love him. And he
what a shot he has. What a shot he has.
I'm pretty sure Truba got the assist.
Yes, Trouba and Panarin, because Panarin has to get an assist.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, the only bad thing to come out of that game.
No Fox.
No Fox.
No Fox assists, so that streak comes to an end.
Unfortunately. He was
but,
so close.
Mika with an empty netter, so he gets number 14. He's been hot, staying hot, I should say.
Staying Mika-like.
Yeah. But looking forward now, we have tomorrow night another game against the Islanders.
Do we think Georgie plays again?
I know everybody wants to see Sorokin, Shesterkin. Listen.
But I don't think it's happening.
But listen, we got years, okay, to see that.
They're both, you know what I mean? So
that rivalry develop. Yeah, exactly. I think, now you know me, Igor's my guy. I love him.
Yes.
I think
play Kincaid.
You got to play Georgie.
Oh, not Kincaid.
Oh, not Kincaid. No, not Georgie again. I know it's. I don't know if it's a mental thing or whatever it is, but he plays the Islanders
so well against the Islanders.
What is he, 8-1 against them?
I think so. 8-2, I think maybe his career.
Yeah, and again, though, let's go back to what we spoke about on a previous episode. How many shots on goal did he face in the first period? I think
I believe it was 7.
Or 7.
7.
Right?
7. Had that been Igor, it would have been
right.
15.
It would have been 27. And it's just, again, but whatever. Listen, personally, personally, I want Igor to be there every game, play every game, win every game. But if, again, for whatever reason, our defense plays the way it does when Georgie's in net, okay, let's ride it here for a little bit and see what happens.
We'll take it. Take the win.
Yeah.
I also would like to point out that the 4 Rangers with the lowest time on ice last night, I believe, if my sources are correct. If my sources, aka multiple Twitter accounts, my sources, I'll have to check this. But I think at the end of the second, the time on ice was lowest for Kraftstov, Lafreniere, Heaton, and Kakko. Because that makes perfect sense.
Let me see if
even if they didn't have the lowest, they had some of the lowest. And Brett Howden had more ice time than Kaapo Kakko, which is a crime to humanity.
I got time on ice right now from the game. It looks like the least amount of time on ice.
If you say Kakko,
no, it's
thank God.
Brett Howden.
Really?
Yes, he was on for. God. Where is he? Where is he? I just had him. 12:09. Okay. Kevin Rooney was 12:19.
Okay, good. I know.
But then you get to Lafreniere.
Oh my God.
12:58.
He scored a goal.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. Excuse me, Sam Rosen. Excuse me. Kaapo Kakko, 11:24.
Oh my God. Brett Howden had more ice time than Kaapo Kakko.
Yep. That's an issue.
I'm gonna need to have a little chat with David Quinn real quick.
Heedle 13:01. Kravtsov 12:12.
Oh my God.
So Howden had 3 less seconds than Kravtsov. See, that's an issue. And again, I understand, there's penalty killing situations where Howden plays.
There was one.
Right. That you took the words out of my mouth. Exactly. We only took 1 penalty. So what's stupid one? What, and we were leading that game, not just, on the scoreboard, but the flow of the game.
Yeah.
And, we didn't need that 4th line presence as much, to jumpstart us, to kind of give us that, we had Smitty doing that, trying to throw down with everybody.
Ooh, Smitty. Love him.
But, again, I know Quinn is fighting maybe for his job, obviously, to try to get this team into the playoffs, but play the kids.
My theory is that Brett Howden is actually David Quinn's biological son, and that's the only logical explanation.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. Listen, Brett Howden, I know, we had to get him in the trade. It was a must-have when we traded for Tampa, with Tampa back in the day.
We got Nemesnikov for that too, right? We got Nemesnikov in that trade.
Right.
I miss him.
But what I'm saying is, what's our future as far as the young kids? Okay?
Our future as far as the young kids is they're going to play.
Kevin Rooney.
It's not Kevin Rooney. It's not Brett Howden.
It's not Brett Howden. Right. And Blackwell, I know he's not one of the kids, but he puts us in a tough spot. he puts us in a tough spot because when we move him up and he plays, he scores. He produces.
Yeah.
You know? So I get it's a fine line to walk, but, Laugh, Heedle, Kako, Kratzov, they all have to play, as much as they possibly can.
You need to get them ready.
Yeah.
I know Steve Valiquette said this during the post game. That was a playoff hockey game.
Yeah.
That had playoff energy, and this is what he said. I'm going to take his words word for word. You put the kids in a playoff hockey game, and they showed up.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Now, as far as the leading time on ice for the forwards, because we know obviously defensemen, they always play the most.
Panarin.
Right. And listen, there's no gripe from me on that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue with that at all.
Right. And Zibanejad was there as well.
He had a good game.
Yep. Bushnevich, of course, was up there. Kreider was up there. Strome was up there.
Needs to start doing something. He has had a quiet couple games. He needs to start doing something.
Right. Now, what do you do with that situation? Do you bump Kreider down?
No.
Promote Kako? How do you work that?
No, here's I was talking about this earlier. The only reason I'm okay with right now, at the current moment in time, with Kraftstov being on the fourth line and where everyone is because the only person, because I don't think Kraftstov should be on the second line. Obviously, I don't think he's there yet. But I don't think that we should, because the only other person I'm okay with being on the second line, honestly, is Kako. But I don't want to move him because he's been playing well with Heedle and Laugh.
Right. I'm fine with keeping those three kids together.
It's just a hard situation because I don't think Blackwell. Here's what frustrates me about Blackwell. It's not Blackwell himself. It's that everybody acts like Blackwell's the best thing since sliced bread, and that I know someone who bought a Blackwell jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Listen, I respect the guy. I like the guy. He's on my team. He produces.
The future,
right.
He's not going to be here.
And, again, I think, and, maybe it comes down to the last, 7 games of the season or so, but once we're officially eliminated from the playoff contention, which unfortunately looks like the way we're going, then I think you'll see at least the kids, play a lot more. And again, it's you want them to play meaningful games, but at the same time, you have to play who produces because they're meaningful games.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, you don't know if
they need to get their feet wet.
Right, because they're not playing as much. It's again, it's a tough spot for Quinn. I get it, but listen, this is what you get paid to do. So do it right. Or
the reason he's here is to develop young players, and he's not doing it.
Right.
And I understand there are things that he does right. There are things I agree with him with. But he needs to. Let's put it this way: he needs to play them. He needs to play the kids, and it's just confusing because he was brought here for that reason. I'm sure that they told him that that's why they were bringing him here.
Yeah, I mean it's
but he's not doing it. It's a tough situation, I know, because at this point I think he knows he's fighting for his job, because even a moron could see that he's fighting for his job. But it's just, I know you want to win, but it's not about winning right now, I don't think. I think it's about laying the foundation for the future is how I'm going to put it.
Yeah. I mean, that should be the number one goal. I mean, obviously you always want to win, but the reality of it is it probably, or could be, or it looks like it's going to be, that we come up short. So it's, let's I don't know. I don't want to say let's get ready for next year already, but it's got to be in the back of your mind to prepare for the future, like you said. So, but yeah, the Islanders with that loss, now jump back
thankfully.
ties with Washington and freaking Pittsburgh, man. They're right there,
Pittsburgh's
2
about
points
to.
back.
Yeah, it's just I was kind of hoping Pittsburgh would, I think we're just not going to talk about any of my predictions for this season because they were all so utterly wrong.
Listen, I had Philly winning the division, okay? So
I had Carter Hart winning the Vezina.
yeah, that was not a good one.
Well, now I say that I don't even know who I would say right now. Well, for the sake of me being me, I'm gonna say Vasilevsky.
Yeah, I mean,
Vasilevsky went on that streak and no one was talking about it.
yeah. But I don't know. I think at this point, it's just, you come to expect these things from Tampa and, whether it's unfair or not, but, um, they're fighting right now for a division championship, with, if you can believe it, the Panthers and the Hurricanes, who are actually up by a point.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
I don't know.
upset because, see, here's the thing. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but I started watching the other teams a little bit more, right?
Hmm.
The three teams the two other teams I've taken a liking to, they suck. Okay, the Flames don't suck. They're just not in a playoff spot
Yeah.
and aren't going to be because they're like 5 points out, and I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
think
they're
they're going to
8
catch
points
up.
behind Montreal right now,
Oh,
and they
never
play
mind.
and they play 3 more games than
Oh
Montreal.
my
So
God.
yeah.
I think I had them making the
Actually,
playoffs
you ready?
too.
Ready? Ready for this one? Ottawa's only 5 points behind Calgary.
That's terrifying, and I'm gonna have to
Oh
have a little chat with
gosh.
Matthew Kachuk.
Well,
Um, I just I think I had them making the playoffs too, and then the
yeah,
Ducks.
you did.
I
Yeah, and the
also had them
Ducks who are
making the
sitting in
playoffs.
dead last, 31
I
points.
also had the Ducks making the playoffs, but it's fine. I said Kevin Shattenkirk because it's coming clutch.
I almost, yeah, in my West predictions, I almost have it perfect right now, except Minnesota's third and the Blues are fifth.
I hate the Blues. I hate them so much. I just hate Jordan Binnington. I think that's all it is. I hate Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington's a jerk though. Like I don't hate him because he's good. I hate him because he's a jerk. And he also wasn't that good
I
this
don't.
year.
I was gonna say I don't think he's even that good anyway.
Oh
So,
my gosh, is Carter Hart going to be the next Jordan Binnington?
well, listen, Binnington won a cup, so
Okay, but in his first year.
no, I know that's what I'm saying. So you can't take that away from him, and Carter Hart's, you know, I mean, unless he's friends with like Vasilevsky or something like that, and he wants to let him come over and touch the cup, you know that's probably the closest he's gonna get to it.
That's so mean.
I'm just saying.
Oh my lord. Now here's my thing. As far as playoffs go and who's making it, who's not, I say top 3 for the East are pretty much solidified unless all
Hmm.
hell breaks loose.
Right.
But going into this, knowing my top 3 teams aren't making it, I said that I would, if I was to root for anyone in this situation, and as much as I hate the Leafs, I think it'd be cool to see them win one just because they haven't since what, 67?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
And even if not the Leafs, I'd be okay. And the only reason I'd be okay with the Habs winning is because of Carey Price.
No, the Habs aren't even gonna get close to winning. So,
I know they're not going to get close, but I'm
all
allowed
right,
to like
as long as you
just
know.
because if Lundqvist couldn't get a cup, if Lundqvist and Price both retire without a cup, that is tragic.
That's criminal.
That is criminal.
uh,
That's just
well,
that'll be so sad. And then obviously, if somehow, some way they find a way to add Lundqvist back to the roster, I think I'm gonna have to root for the Caps. Not because I like the Caps.
right. Well, if that ever did happen, which again,
It all
99.9%
depends. Yeah.
chance is not gonna happen.
Well,
I,
Lundqvist
I
has a
I'd be right
doctor's
there with you.
appointment. Lundqvist has a doctor's appointment in a few days, and that's basically going to determine his entire future.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doctor's appointment goes well for him, and they tell him, "Hey, you can play hockey still." And even I don't at this point, he said this in his interview with Kevin Weeks. Kevin Weeks had asked him. He said, "Do you care do you have a specific role for a team you want to play? Like you don't need like." And he had said, "I just want to be there for them when they need me." So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like he's pretty okay with sitting on the bench for the playoffs. If
Mm-hmm.
he's so just add him to the roster. I don't care if he doesn't play a single game. Add him to the roster. One game away from a win, put him on the bench. Just put him on the bench. Let him have this. And I said this to G the other day. I said, so if somehow, some way, miraculously, this all happens and the Capitals do win the cup, I think they give it to Ovechkin, and then I think Ovechkin hands it right off to Lundqvist. I think Ovechkin has too much respect for Lundqvist not to.
Yeah, I think that would be a sight to see. You know what I mean?
I would probably cry.
Yeah. I mean, if
Crazy.
I don't know. And again, if that ever happened, I'd be right there rooting for the Capitals as well, even though that pains me to say.
Yeah.
That would be some image. And again, I highly unlikely, but who knows? Who knows what happens next season?
Mm-hmm.
Does he go somewhere else? Does he play at all?
I don't think I could deal with him playing for 3 teams in his career.
Well, listen,
I don't think
I'm still, in my mind, he was still just a Ranger and that's it. You know what I mean? He never played a regular season game, or even a preseason game, I guess, for that matter, for the Capitals. I know he practiced and whatever else, but until there's a regular season appearance, just a Ranger. So,
well, my Capitals jersey is hanging in my closet at the moment. So.
Well, again, that's that could be one of those things. Like I said, he was technically a Capital, but never played for him. So
that's so weird. That's like the time.
Very weird, yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but a couple of years ago, I think it was the Sharks and like Nashville or something like that. There was a trade. Someone got a player and they traded them like 2 hours.
Yeah,
later.
they basically traded him to trade for someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about it. And then I remember the next game, someone made like a banner with the guy's name on it and went to the game and held up a sign.
All right. I want to finish up real quick, just getting back to baseball because I'm just, I don't know. I'm frustrated. Just, I know. I just, again, it's early in the season. I can't come to terms with
the Yankees not playing
this offense just doing nothing. I can't.
This can't be happening when you have such a talented team.
Right. I can't grasp it. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Tampa. They're a very good team, no matter who they have out there. But, I don't know. I just, luckily we have, like I said, Monty going tomorrow and then Cole going to start the series against Toronto. Mm-hmm. So maybe we get a little momentum, Monty and Cole, and then, I don't know, I guess Tyone maybe would pitch the next game. But I have to say something to the people out there that are almost attacking Aaron Judge. I've seen some people say that, he's supposed to be our quote unquote captain and this, that, the other thing, but, he doesn't show emotion and he's not like, breaking a bat and throwing the Gatorade container and this, that, the other thing. Listen, that was Paul O'Neill. Okay. That's what he did. Okay. That's how he showed his emotion. Judge, I'm sure he talks.
Is calm.
Right. I'm sure he talks behind the scenes. That's just his demeanor. He's a calm guy who, he doesn't even argue balls and strikes, even though some of them are just ridiculously out of the strike zone.
Yeah,
and
he has absolutely every right to argue because he's
right,
so tall.
And he doesn't. That's his demeanor. That's
how he puts himself out there.
Right, exactly. And so we all got to just pump the brakes a little bit on that. situation of, he needs to show more in this, that, the other thing. The only thing he needs to show is production at the plate and being on the field. That's it.
Can we also pump the brakes on the Giancarlo Stanton booing?
Yeah. See,
after he hits a grand slam.
That's the thing. His next at bat, he strikes out, and they're booing him. I mean, they booed him during the first game of the season.
He hadn't even gotten up at bat yet.
I can't wrap my head around. And I always talk. Me and Danielle always talk about this, that she doesn't think you should boo your own team. I'm the other way. You have every right to boo your own team, especially when they don't produce.
I think the only person I will ever boo from any of my own teams is Jack Johnson.
But, to boo someone the first game of the season, the first week of the season, I should say, even if anything, or especially he hits a, 8,000-foot grand slam and then strikes out. Okay, he's going to strike out people. He's going to strike out a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It just makes no sense to me to boo him after a scenario like that.
Giancarlo Stanton is my favorite player, and I seem to choose overpaid and hated players. Considering my two favorite athletes are Jacob Trouba and Giancarlo Stanton at the moment. But
and you have to look at too what he did for us in the postseason last year. 6 home runs in the first 5 games. Right, he was on a tear.
It's so and like it's amazing to me how they can boo someone not only after they hit a grand slam, but after he starts producing. He's been getting hits pretty consistently the past couple games.
Yeah, he has, and he's been hitting the ball hard. Even some of his outs are hard hit balls, like 110 exit velo, 115. Like he's hitting rocks.
He's making contact with the ball, which is more than I can pretty much say for just about Aaron Hicks.
Hicksy had a home run yesterday, though.
I know. I'm very proud of him. Too bad they still lost 10-5.
Yeah. You see your boy Rosarena today with a home run, of course.
Listen, he's not my boy. I just put him on my roster for
he's a clown.
Fantasy baseball.
And how about the one good move the Yankees did make? They didn't bring back James Paxton, who now
let me guess, he's doing terrific.
No. He left in the third inning or the second inning of his first start after 24 pitches, and now it's being recommended he has Tommy John surgery. Yeah, because that left elbow was irritating him again, and now it looks like he's probably going to have... Yeah, he's probably going to have Tommy John surgery, and obviously that means he misses this whole season and part of next season.
Great.
So, again, you feel for the guy. He has, ace-type stuff, but he can't stay on the field.
That's no one should accept any players from the Yankees at this point because they all get injured.
Yeah.
It's like the Yankees curse, I swear. It's a thing.
The biggest the most important, I should say, aspect of being a top player in the league is being on the field or on the range. You know what I mean? You have to be right. You have to be out there to produce. If you're a guy that can, hit 300 and knock in 40 runs, driving 100 ribbies, like that's fantastic. But if you're hurt, what good are you doing to us?
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, you're not going to produce from
the injury
IL,
list.
the IR, the bench if you're Capo, which is kind of going to go off a little bit on a tangent for a sec. Someone I saw was saying Capo, don't get the hype. It's terrible. He doesn't get any points. I'm just curious. How would you like him to get points from the bench?
When he plays 6 minutes a night, I know.
It's a very confusing subject when you say Capo needs to get points, but Brett Howden has more ice time than him. Brett Howden's not getting points. I want to hear and then they'll be like, oh, well, it's no excuse because you're a second overall pick. He's a second overall pick whose first 2 seasons of his career were infiltrated with COVID. And for lack of a better term, drama, because he's a Ranger and, we got defensemen fighting goalies and the Russian government after our star player. It's a lot. He's 20. He's young. He has plenty of time left in his career. And he has David Quinn as a coach who plays him less time on ice than Brett Howden. So he's not going to produce. Sorry, that's just how it works. And actually, the past 10 games, he's been good. So and he's been up and down the lineup. He has been moved around. He's been tossed around like a rag doll this season because he's just everywhere in the lineup. It's one loss and Kakko gets bumped down, even if he did nothing wrong.
There's no consistency with it, and it's
frustrating.
Again, that's tough for the development of a young kid in any sport. It's consistency is the biggest thing.
Don't fix something that isn't broken, because they'll move him, even though, like, for example, basically David Quinn had said that he was moving Blackwell to the second line because he reminded him of Jesper Fast.
I know he's been saying that ever since he left. That they're trying to find that Jesper Fast type player. Listen, if you wanted that Jesper Fast type player,
you would have tried to
brought back Jesper Fast. Okay. Holy Christmas! What do you like?
They let him go for nothing. They let him go for literally nothing.
Yeah, and again, that's fine. That's fine, but if his spot, if he's not going to be there, then his spot needs to go to a younger, one of the kids.
He was playing.
That's what we're trying to.
Kakko was playing so well with Panarin. And I know that's not saying much, because you could put me on the ice with Panarin and I'd probably get a couple goals. But it's just a matter of he was playing well with Panarin and Strome. And one loss and you say, well, Blackwell reminds me of Fast, so let's put him on the second line, because that's logical. And the most frustrating part for me is he said Kraftsov wasn't a fourth line player, yet one loss and Kraftsov's on the fourth line. And obviously now, like I said earlier, I am fine with it at the moment, just because I like how Kakko's been playing, and I don't think that Kraftsov should be on the second line. But it's just ridiculous that it's such low ice time. He's being moved around so much. He's not getting comfortable with his line mates, because he plays one game with one line and then he goes to another one. It's just, and you can see it's really only happening to him. He's pretty much the only one moving around the entire lineup. Since the beginning of the season, he has moved from Panarin to he's moved from the second to the third line to the fourth line, back to the second to the fourth to the third. It's just, he's everywhere.
What about the fifth line?
Funny. I had also said that because there was some comments about Jacob Trouba and what his contract means for, like, the future of the team. And because we did sign him for a longer deal.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, well, they are going to have to get rid of him because he is older and they need young defensemen. So I said, okay, well, say we keep the top four defensemen the same. Fox, Lindgren, because I don't want to get rid of Lindgren.
No.
Fox, Lindgren, Kayandre, and Trouba. Hayak and Smith aren't staying. Smith is probably going to be gone soon.
Listen, Smith might even move at the trade deadline. A veteran presence that could help a team, and plus that'll give us room for Potato or Reunanen.
Exactly, and I said for the sake of the future, I would like Lundqvist. Is that how you say it?
Oh, Nils?
Yeah, he's a defenseman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So say we put Lundqvist with Reunanen.
Mm-hmm.
Or even Braden Schneider.
Mm-hmm.
We
have a
Trouba
plethora. You like that word? Plethora of defensemen.
And the only reason, and like I would be saying this even if I didn't love Jacob Trouba as much as I do. It's important to have. I think it's important to have at least one vet in every, not position, but I say it's important to have a vet in your forwards and in your defensemen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if we have such a young defensive core, it's going to become an issue. Because whether you want to admit it or not,
you need that veteran presence, 100%.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I said today. I said Trouba might not be the best defenseman, But he brings veteran
intangibles, right? He brings intangibles, that leadership, and he's
a leader.
You can't put a price on that sometimes.
That's what you need, and it's what you need to do, considering Smith is probably gone soon. And I love Smith. He's a good, gritty player, but
because look, if Trouba helps Keandre develop into this star,
which it seems like he
was worth every penny of his contract.
Yeah. We didn't.
You know what I mean?
I at this point, they didn't. And another argument that people use is, oh, well, he's not good on offense. Okay, he's not Adam Fox.
Right, but then said, who is Adam Fox at this point?
Exactly. Adam Fox is the best defenseman the Rangers have had since Brian Leetch.
Yep.
And that's just how it is. I don't like to compare players to Brian Leetch, but I think that it's appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I say that Trouba isn't a bad defenseman, that doesn't mean I'm saying he's better than Adam Fox.
You're not right, and you're not justifying the contract. It is what it is. That's what he's getting paid. So
it's the contract argument. It's so stupid because he didn't choose the contract. The Rangers offered him that contract. So if you're going to blame anyone for that contract, you blame the Rangers.
Somebody wants to pay me that much, I'm signing, and I'm
exactly.
That's it.
And I had someone today tell me that he should take a pay cut. Why would he willingly take less money?
Yeah, I know.
It's a business. And yes, you want to win. And he's not going to take a pay cut because the Rangers say, oh, can you take a pay cut? Like, that's the only situation Jacob Trouba says, you know what, I'll take a pay cut, is if the Rangers come up to him and say, listen, you either take a pay cut or we buy you out. Which they're not going to do. They can't afford to buy him out.
Well, they are the kings of buyouts, so. But no, that's not even on the table. I mean, at least for a while. But
he's unfortunately for those Jacob Trouba haters. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to deal with him for a while. Deal with it.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating because he hasn't had a bad season.
No, and again, like I said, it's all about the development of the young kids. And if he's there, if Keandre Miller is playing as good as he is right now, and Jacob Trouba has something to do with that, then that's great. Well, that's what I'm saying, because you obviously Miller has skill, and he's got offensive skill. He's a very good defenseman, defensive defenseman, and he looks like he has a very good hockey mind. But with Trouba as his partner, he's leaning on him a bit too to kind of show him the way. Mentor. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And Miller said this at the beginning of the season. He said to the press, he said Trouba had taken him under his wing. He said that it's helpful for a young guy like Keandre Miller to have that veteran presence.
Yes, it is.
Which is why you tend to see rookies connecting with older players. For example, Alexis Lafreniere and Chris Kreider. That's not coincidental. Chris Kreider's helping Alexis Lafreniere. My Alexa went off. Alexa, stop. I said Alexi. And my Alexa went off. It's not a coincidence. Like, we got Trouba and Miller. We got Kreider and Laff. We got Kreider and basically everyone, honestly, at this point. Kreider, we have Mika and Kakko have been, they've been talking to each other. Panarin and Kakko have been talking to each other. Panarin and Miller have been talking to each other. It's just everybody kind of has that vet that they talk to.
Yep.
That they have helped them. And I know Howden's not a rookie or anything like that. And I know I don't like him, but he's close with Mika. And at this point,
he's still a young player, so
exactly. At this point, it's important for that. Fox, Mika, Lindgren before he was traded was Lemieux's bestie, which I guess makes sense. Breaking news: Columbus just traded David Savard to Tampa.
Yeah, that was being talked about for a bit. So, because the trade deadline is Tuesday, right? I think Monday, Tuesday.
I believe so, and it looks like the Rangers will do a whole lot of nothing.
And they shouldn't do anything. I don't think.
No, at this point,
and listen, nobody wants D'Angelo, so that's not happening.
The Rangers are in like that spot where they don't do anything.
Right, they're neutral. They're not a buyer. They're not a seller. They're neutral because they're close to playoffs, but we have a lot of young talent. It's not like we need to trade somebody. Maybe the only thing we do is, like I said, trade Smitty just to give.
I really don't want them to trade Smitty.
No, neither do I. But to give him a shot to help a team, get over the hump.
He definitely could be useful.
Yeah, and also to give another spot to one of our young defensemen to play some important minutes.
I would like to know when Anthony Botetto's coming back because I really miss him. Do you see that video of Booch being a camera person?
The photographer, yeah.
Yeah, and then Botetto's like, Shesty's on.
He's a banana.
I love him. I love him so much. Because has he even played a game with fans in the stands yet?
No.
I don't think that's all I want right now is because he grew up a Rangers fan. He said that was his dream. And the first game where they played with fans, that was the game he was injured.
Yep.
It was unfortunate.
He scored his first goal with no fans.
It's so unfortunate.
Yep.
I just want to see Botetto play in front of fans, just because I feel like that'd be.
I'm sure you'll get that chance, before this season's up.
Hopefully, because unless can we get rid of Hayek, please?
We'll save that for another time.
Yes.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode number 27.
Ryan McDonough. Yeah. Why did that come to my mind before Stanton?
I don't know. I guess because we were just talking hockey.
Yeah, I guess.
But all right. Yeah. Thanks for joining as always. Your insight is always appreciated. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, yes.
All right. Bye.
Be well.
Yes. Goodbye. All right. So thanks to Ava for joining as always. Yeah. And, thanks for listening, guys. Episode number 27. That's a wrap. Follow the show, Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports. You'll get up to the minute, up to date info on the show when the live episodes are coming. And with baseball season now, I'm going to have a lot to talk about. I know the episodes have been a little sporadic lately, but, obviously working is, I've been really busy with that. So just, bear with me a little bit here. And, like I said, baseball season here now. I got a lot on my mind all the time with the Yankees. So we'll dive into that a lot as we go forward. Until next time, guys, be well.